carbines in jungle ambushes, Tommy guns clearing bunkers, flamethrowers lighting up pillboxes, bazookas blasting steel giants. This is every U.S. infantry weapon used in World War II, and what made each one lethal. But here's what the history books don't tell you. German soldiers had a nickname for the sound of the M1 rifle reloading. They called it the sound of death. And they were right. From standard-issue rifles to weapons so brutal the enemy tried to ban them, we're covering them all. Let's start with the tool that defined the American infantry. United States Rifle Caliber 30 M1. The backbone of the American infantry. Semi-automatic. 8-round en-bloc clip. It fired fast, hit hard, and stayed reliable under mud, rain, or blood. General George S. Patton called it the greatest battle implement ever devised. And for good reason. While German and Japanese soldiers pulled bolts between shots, American GIs kept firing. One trigger pull, one bullet, no stopping. In Europe and the Pacific, this rifle turned foot soldiers into firepower. One soldier could lay down a wall of bullets without pulling the bolt once. Here's the thing. When that 8th round fired, the en-bloc clip ejected with a loud metallic ping. German soldiers learned to listen for it. They thought it meant the rifle was empty. They would rush forward. But smart American soldiers carried extra clips and reloaded in under 2 seconds. The ping became a trap. United States Carbine Caliber 30 M1. Light, compact, and easy to carry. Issued to paratroopers, tank crews, officers, and radio operators. Chambered in a smaller .30 caliber cartridge. It wasn't as powerful as the standard rifle, but it was faster in close quarters combat. The folding stock variant made it ideal for airborne drops and trench movement. Over 6 million were produced. More than any other U.S. small arm in the war. United States Rifle, Caliber 30, Model 1903. Bolt action. 5-round internal magazine. 100% American steel and walnut. Used heavily in World War I and still carried in the early years of the next war. Its accuracy was unmatched at long distances. Marines swore by it in Guadalcanal and Tarawa. Every pull of the bolt brought another chance at survival. United States Rifle, Caliber 30, Model 1903A3, a simplified version of the 1903, streamlined for mass production with stamped parts and improved sights. Still bolt action, still deadly. Used by training units, rear line troops, and snipers when scopes were available. It wasn't glamorous, but it worked. Johnson's semi-automatic rifle, Model 1941. Rare and unique. 10-round rotary magazine, semi-automatic operation. Marine raiders and paramilitary units valued its firepower. It had fewer moving parts than the M1 rifle and a quick-change barrel. Lightweight, accurate, and far ahead of its time, but never fully standardized. Springfield Sniper Rifle Model 1903A4, a precision weapon built for the unseen battlefield. Based on the Model 1903 platform but stripped of iron sights and fitted with a scope. Used by American snipers in every theater of war. One well-placed shot could break an attack, silence a machine gun nest, or eliminate an officer. Quiet work with loud consequences. Now submachine guns. United States Submachine Gun, Caliber 45 Thompson. The legend. Heavy, reliable, and deadly in close quarters. Fired the same 45 caliber rounds as the standard pistol, but at 600 to 700 rounds per minute. Used by paratroopers, Marines, Rangers, anyone expecting a fight at point-blank range. From Sicily to Saipan, it was a trench clearer, bunker killer, and house-to-house hammer. But here's the catch. The Thompson was expensive. Really expensive. Each one cost about $200 to make in 1940s money. That's over $4,000 today. The military needed something cheaper. United States Submachine Gun, Caliber 45, M3. The grease gun. Lighter, cheaper, stamped steel. Designed to replace the Thompson. Cost just $20. 1/10 the price of a Thompson. Simple, slow-firing, and compact. Tank crews loved it. Could do the same job for a fraction of the cost. United Defense Submachine Gun, Model 1942. Rare, but used by the Office of Strategic Services and Resistance Fighters. Chambered in 9mm. Twin magazine system for fast reloads. Dropped into occupied Europe to arm guerrillas and operatives behind enemy lines. Secret agents used these to sabotage, assassinate, and disrupt Nazi operations. Submachine guns were brutal in tight spaces. In bunkers, cities, and ambushes, they brought American firepower up close and personal. Now, automatic and machine guns. The squad's heavy hitters. Quick question before we continue. One weapon in this category was so effective, enemy commanders ordered their troops to target its operators first. Can you guess which one? Keep watching for the answer. Browning automatic rifle, model 1918. Called the Bar. A one-man light machine gun. Every squad wanted one. It gave small units serious firepower. In Normandy hedgerows or Pacific jungles, the Bar turned the tide. And here's the answer to that question. It was the Bar. German and Japanese troops knew that taking out the Bar gunner would cripple an entire squad's firepower. Bar operators had a dangerous job, but they also had respect. Every man in the unit depended on them. Browning machine gun, caliber 30, model 1919. Air-cooled, belt-fed, crew-operated. Mounted on tripods, jeeps, half-tracks, or aircraft. Used for suppressing fire, breaking up counterattacks, and defending strong points. When this gun opened up, the enemy hit the dirt. It could fire 400 to 600 rounds per minute. That's 10 bullets every second. Browning machine gun, water-cooled, model 1917. Older, heavier, but still deadly. Water-jacketed barrel meant it could fire longer without overheating. Used early in the war for fixed defenses and in support roles. Devastating once in place. These weapons weren't for subtlety. They were for holding lines, cutting through charges, and keeping heads down. Moving to sidearms. The weapons of last resort. Colt, caliber 45, model 1911. The standard U.S. military pistol. Semi-automatic, 7-round magazine. Fired a heavy 45 caliber round that could stop a threat with one shot. Reliable in mud, sand, and snow. Designed in 1911 and still in use today. Over a century later, that's how good it was. Smith & Wesson revolver, model 1917. 6 rounds of 45 ACP. Double action. Carried when the Colt wasn't available. Simple, rugged, no safety to fumble. Military police and artillery crews used it across all theaters. Colt official police revolver. Civilian-made, adopted for war. Chambered in .38 Special. Issued to security forces, training units, and resistance fighters. Not ideal for the front lines, but better than nothing in a firefight. Liberator pistol, caliber 45, FP 45. One shot. Single use. Dropped to resistance fighters in Europe. Crude and cheap. Built to kill once and steal a better weapon. The idea was simple. Kill a German guard. Take his rifle. Join the fight. Sidearms were backup. But in close quarters or emergencies, they meant the difference between life and death. Now for shotguns. Brutal, close-range tools. Here's something wild. One weapon was so effective at close range, Germany filed an official protest in 1918 calling it inhumane. They wanted it banned. The weapon, combat shotguns, and America ignored the complaint. These weapons came back even stronger in World War II. Winchester combat shotgun, model 1897. A pump-action shotgun with a bayonet lug and heat shield. Slam fire capable. That means soldiers could hold the trigger and pump out shells as fast as they could rack it. Fired 12-gauge buckshot. Perfect for trench clearing, jungle ambushes, and house-to-house fighting. Feared by the enemy, loved by Marines. Ithaca shotgun, model 37. Lighter and smoother. Bottom ejecting design helped in dirty environments. Used by Navy personnel, military police, and patrol squads. Fired fast, kicked hard, and didn't jam easily. Remington combat shotgun, model 10. Older design but still saw use. Modified for combat with heat shields and shortened barrels. Used primarily in the Pacific. When clearing caves or bunkers, Nothing hit harder than a 12 gauge. Shotguns weren't elegant, but they were devastating up close. When the fight came down to feet, not yards, these weapons ended it quickly. Let's talk explosives and launchers. The tools for taking out tanks, bunkers, and barriers. Rocket launcher, anti-tank, model M1. The bazooka, shoulder-fired, two-man operation. Fired a shaped charge rocket capable of penetrating tank armor or blowing holes in bunkers. Light and portable, it gave infantry a fighting chance against armored threats. Before the bazooka, infantry had almost no way to stop a tank. After the bazooka, every tank crew had something to fear. Grenade launcher rifle attachment, M7. Clamped onto the barrel of a standard rifle. Launched grenades farther and more accurately than a throw. Used high-angle arcs to drop explosives behind cover or into dugouts. It gave riflemen a mini mortar. Now, flamethrowers and special weapons. Fearsome tools for fearsome tasks. Before we dive in, here's something you need to know. Flamethrower operators in the Pacific had an average combat life expectancy of just 4 minutes once they entered battle. Why? Because enemy soldiers knew if they didn't stop the flamethrower, they would burn alive. So they targeted the operator immediately. Portable flamethrower, model M1A1, carried on a soldier's back. Sprayed a stream of burning gasoline up to 40 meters. Used to flush out bunkers, tunnels, and machine gun nests. Terrifying to face and dangerous to carry. The operator was always a target. From the standard issue M1 rifle to the brutal combat shotgun. From the Colt pistol to the portable flamethrower. These were the infantry weapons of the United States in World War II. Some were mass-produced icons. Others were rare, improvised, or experimental. But each one played a role in the harsh, chaotic world of ground combat. In forests, deserts, jungles, cities, these weapons helped shape the outcome of the most destructive war in history. If you want more breakdowns like this, fast, focused, and fact-filled, hit subscribe and tell us in the comments.